Karen. We have you here to talk about our event coming up, Down for Donuts, and special guest, Kira, and other special guest, Donut. All right, so can you tell us a little bit how Donuts and Down for Donuts started?
Okay. So I know it seems odd to have donuts be involved with a gym atmosphere, and it's a really long story, kind of, but I'll make it short. When Kira was about 3 or 4 months old, I walked in on a conversation that Ted was having with a gym member, and they were talking about Donut Friday, and I thought like, oh, well, I guess everybody does that because my dad and I did that. And then it turns out that that wasn't true, that this member, Trent, was gonna make Donut Friday a thing. And so I made a meme with Kira, and she had this cute little face, and it said, guess what, today's Donut Friday, or whatever it said. You can go to Kira's Down for Donuts and check out that meme. But after that, I started making memes every Friday, and it eventually got to where if I didn't have the meme up by Friday when everybody woke up, I was getting texts and phone calls. So she got her own Instagram page, Kira's Down for Donuts, and we were pretty good at keeping up with those Donut Friday memes until she got bigger and I added another kid and you know, life. Mm-hmm. But there's some pretty cute ones if you do want to check that out. But that's where the donuts come from. And so then Isabel and Sarah one year decided to change we were doing a fundraiser every year around World Down Syndrome Day, which is March 21st. And for those that don't know why, there are 3 copies of the 21st chromosome, which is where the trisomy 21, 321, all these things come from. But they decided to call it Down for Donuts, and it has exploded from there.
Okay, so what did that first event look like before it was Down for Donuts, and why did we host that here?
So Kira was just over a month old. We hadn't told anybody yet that she had Down syndrome. She was a birth diagnosis. I was advanced maternal age, so I had multiple tests done. I had the genetic anomaly, I had the Materna 21. Both of those tests are 90% accurate at detecting Down syndrome, and both came back totally normal. So when they said they were testing her, obviously that was pretty shocking to us because we were like, no, she doesn't, because we did the things, and well, Kira's our little, slip between the cracks kid. And so we hadn't announced it yet, and we had met somebody who was down in Tampa, and her son, she was a coach at a gym in Tampa, her son had Down syndrome, and so they were doing this fundraiser for Central Florida Down Syndrome Association, and Ted said, well, I want to do that too. So we announced that we were doing this little charity thing. All the members came in, and we ended up raising about $2,000 for that organization, which that was probably the day that I knew what a community Ted had built with the gym. At the time, I was still working on a farm, because all these people raised so much money for an organization that Ted and I said was a great cause without any really reason why. And so that day we announced after the event that Kira had Down syndrome, and it was really cool, a really neat thing to know that everybody was so supportive.
She's wiggling a little bit.
Everyone was so supportive of this community of people without having a connection to it, or they didn't know they had a connection to it yet.
Yeah, so I remember I was there, and everyone had pretty crazy socks. That was the year that we did the crazy socks.
Please stop.
Okay, so Down for Donuts now benefits GiGi's Playhouse, and how did you make that connection from that first event that you had when, I almost said Kira, and then the next event when we started to work with GiGi's Playhouse?
Right. So originally we were working with GiGi's Playhouse in Gainesville, but when we had Kira, that wasn't a thing. They weren't there yet. When we donated the money to Central Florida, they sent me this big care package. So it's a little disappointing that here in Ocala there really was no resources. It was basically like, oh, we're sorry, your child has Down syndrome, and that's it. Like, good luck, pat on the back, you'll figure it out. And so, please stop. So they send me this box that is filled with pamphlets and books and so many resources. So like, they're available. It's just that our community is not very good at making sure. I mean, this is the #1 genetic anomaly. There's a lot of things out there. It's disappointing that at the time it was Monroe, but that none of them offered any kind of guidance. My pediatrician had really he's great, but he didn't really have anything to offer at that moment. Kira? So they send this package, and I'm going through it, and in it is this flyer for a facility that's coming to Gainesville called GiGi's Playhouse. And so I read up on that, and when they opened, we went to their grand opening, and it was so refreshing to meet a group of parents that they know, they get it, they understand what you're going through. Yes, we know all kids are different, and we want to include ours, but I have 2 typical kids, so I know that Kira is a little bit more challenging than the others.
No, definitely not.
She's cute and she's a lot of fun, but she's a lot of work. So it was really nice to meet people that you could relate to. When I first had Kira, a lot of my friends sort of distanced themselves. Not so much that they didn't want to hang out, but they didn't want to talk to me about their problems anymore. So like what seemed like a big deal with their kids, all of a sudden it was like they looked at me like, oh, she's got it worse, so I don't want to burden her with that. So it was really nice to meet a group of people that were like you felt included with. It's changed since then. My peers all, or my friends all, they know her now and they know everything. So, but at first it is it's very lonely. So that organization was great, and it really helped us get through a challenging, I don't want to say a dark time, but it was kind of, because you're alone or you feel alone and you don't know what to expect. And so you meet this group of people that have children of all different ages and all different abilities. And so it gives you hope that, okay, this isn't the end of the world. This is actually going to be a great thing. So Down for Donuts has become our way to give back to an organization that helped us so much.
So Down for Donuts has grown a lot. What did that evolution look like with regards to what the event is and how much money we're able to raise, and what are your goals for it moving forward?
Well, the evolution has to do with a few factors. Not a whole lot from me, because I tend to stay out of it just because it's very emotional for me. Isabel, the girl behind the camera, is probably responsible for a lot of the growth, and she's pretty much responsible for planning the majority of the event. So we obviously very much appreciate that. The last 2 years, I think a lot of growth has happened because, if you guys don't know, we have a cafe next door to the gym called Brick and Iron Cafe, and that has allowed us to bring in a lot more public that maybe otherwise wouldn't be involved with the gym, but they have gotten to know Kira very well, and they are more than happy and excited and donating gift baskets and just sponsorships and all the different things that have happened just because I have this other business aside from the gym that allows us to be a little bit more public facing. So I think that's another thing. And then that was 2, right? And then the third one is just time, like word of mouth. It gets out, and really, like, who doesn't want to support these amazing people?
What is Down for Donuts? So what do we do, and what are the main components that we have?
So we do a CrossFit style competition. There's partner or individual. And we even have an enhanced division where one person has, what's the terminology? They have I'm going to come up with it later. But anyway, one person has a developmental delay of some sort, whatever the reason be, cerebral palsy or Down syndrome or just any genetic. It doesn't even have to be genetic. For whatever reason, there's people had developmental delays. So one person is that, and the other person is what we call typical. They're probably not, because none of us are, but and so that group is probably everybody's favorite to watch, because they're so determined and so hardworking, and it inspires most of us to realize, like, we have all these abilities and we're bitching every day, so like, suck it up.
Mm-hmm. I know, everyone cries when they and they're just, it's so great to watch, and it's such a great way to like kick off the event. Yeah. To have them start each of the workouts, and you just watch them working so hard, and they are so excited, and you can just feel their energy and how supportive,
and the people around them.
Yeah,
yes. The support that comes with that group, it's pretty amazing. It gives you hope for just society. You know, it's kind of a rough time right now, so it's nice. It's so refreshing to see that there are great people out there doing amazing things.
What about the other parts? What else? Oh
yes, there's a silent auction, which is my favorite because I like stuff, and there's so many great gift baskets and silent auction things now. Most of them are coming from local businesses all around downtown, and some of them are coming just from people that we've worked with in the past that aren't necessarily here. Then we have like First Form is coming straight from St. Louis. They are coming to have a tent where you can do samples and giving out a lot of products, and just a great group. I think it's really cool that they're making that trip. But the local ones are really nice because it just gives you such a sense of how community driven Ocala is. Obviously, we have so many small businesses. I think we're top 5 in the nation for small business or independently owned businesses in the country, and it shows when you see these people come together and do all these things. And it's not just our organization, but I think that's my favorite part, is just having all of them give so much. And great baskets, really, really cool baskets. I always get outbid though, because I can put my bid at the first, and then I'm in the cafe working the whole day, and then it closes, and then I lose everything. So it sucks, but you guys get a bunch of cool stuff.
All right. So what do you want to see for Down for Donuts in the future, or where do you want it to move or grow?
I would really like to see it become like a national thing. Not necessarily that they're doing our thing, but that other CrossFit gyms would do a similar style. Maybe everybody's doing the same workouts, or just something on 321 where it's benefiting a GiGi's Playhouse or a Down syndrome organization in their town. So it's the #1 genetic anomaly, but it is the least funded of any genetic anomaly out there. So I think that would be really cool. Lift Culture does a great job of getting our t-shirts out, and they get them nationwide, and that's absolutely amazing that they have stuck with us all these years and do that. So thank you to them. It just gives us a much bigger audience.
Yeah. Okay, so our event is March 25th this year. We're gonna have donuts. Where do the donuts come from?
Tastios. Best donuts in Ocala.
Yep. So if you don't know about them, you can come here and try some, and then Karen's gonna do some coffee from the cafe. We have 3 workouts going on inside the gym. We have some vendors outside. We're gonna have our silent auction outside, and it's gonna be a great time. So Karen, do you have any encouraging words or anything else you'd like to say to our listeners? Sound like a radio talk show host. I'm pretty excited. But just anything you want to close out, or anything that you want to mention about your journey with Kira, how how your family, has adapted, how the gym community has adapted or grown, anything, closing remarks.
I just think, I guess the best thing would be just to come out and support it. Even if you're not into CrossFit or you're not into us, that's cool. That's okay. But it's an amazing group of people to support. There's silent auction stuff. You don't even have to look at the CrossFit people if you don't want.
Yeah, just stay outside.
I do encourage you to watch the enhanced group though. It's really, really a lot of fun. Kira will be here for a very short time, about long enough for me to introduce her, and that is it. If you haven't met her, we call her Hurricane Kira because she goes from tropical storm to category 5, and you never know what you're gonna get. So she can't stay for the whole event. I love her, but she's aging me like a presidency because she is my wild child, and I don't think that has anything to do with Down syndrome. No. I think she is just 100% her dad.
Okay.
So come out, support the community, see what it's all about. Come into the cafe.
And if you have a CrossFit gym and you want to do Down for Donuts next year, let us know.
Yes.
And we'll set you up.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be cool. All right, thank you, Karen and Kira, who ate the top of her donut and then bounced. I can hear her, so it's fine. She's still in the building. All right, thanks, guys.